Bienvenidos a la tarea de Español 1, día 5. So this is Spanish 1, day 5 homework assignment, and I have it listed at the very top. It is essentially two things: workbook pages and studyspanish.com quizzes. These are the videos that you watched during your lesson. So here they are again if you want to watch them again to review. Down at the bottom, there are 4 studyspanish.com quizzes and lessons. So definite and indefinite articles, this is the lesson that you would click on. And then the quiz is what you would take a picture of your score and submit it for credit in Google Classroom. Number 2, days of the week. You have the lesson that you can go through, and then the quiz is what you'll take a picture of your score and submit it in Google Class. Number 3, adjectives. The lesson is here. The quiz is here. Take the quiz, take a picture of your score, submit that for credit. And the colors lesson right here. And the quiz is right here. You would take a picture of your score and submit it. So that is covering videos and the studyspanish.com quizzes. I'm going to get you started on the workbook homework. Remember, the workbook are in PDF files in Google Class. We're doing workbook 28 to 33. Starting on workbook 28, we have section 12, artículos definidos. So definite articles, which are all el, la, los, las, and they even say that in the directions. Write el, la, los, or las in the space provided. So this is section 12. At the top of the page, I'll get you started with number 1. Number 1 has bolígrafo. It's masculine, singular, so all we need is el. So that gets you started. You'll finish to number 12. Section 13, you're going to skip. So you're only doing section 12 at the top of the page. Moving on to página 29. Section 14, sección 14, plurals. So we're writing the plural versions of the words given. So you're going to have to change the indefinite article to the plural and the noun to its plural form as well. Remember, the indefinite articles are un, una, unos, unas. If a noun ends in a vowel, all you need to do is add s to make it plural. If it ends in a consonant, add es. Getting you started on number 1. Un papel becomes unos papeles. The difference between a paper or one paper and some papers. Unos papeles. So you'll do now numbers 2 through 6. On the same page, section 15, sección 15, we have a bunch of pictures listed, and we're either going to say it is a whatever the picture is, or they are whatever the picture is, the difference between talking about something singular or plural. So with number 1, it is a clock, es un reloj. And I'll also get you started with number 4 to give you a singular example and a plural example. Number 4, it's more than one pencil, so we're going to use the plural form of the verb. Es becomes son. Unos bolígrafos. So they are some pens, and I hit the N instead of the right letter, the G. Son unos bolígrafos. They are some pens. Moving on, workbook, page 30. And it says, for each item listed, say whether it is in the classroom and how, if it is not, we're not going to worry about it because we're going to pretend like we're in the classroom and we're just going to imagine how many of the following things are usually in a classroom. So, workbook page 30. we have number 1, cesto de papeles. So trash bins, right? We can also use those to refer to as recycling bins as well. So generally, a class has a couple of those. So all of your sentences are going to start with I. If it is not found in the classroom, you would say no I, which means there is not. But since we're going to say there are, we have I, and let's just say 3 maybe. Hay 3 cestos de papeles. There are 3 trash bins, garbage cans, waste paper bins. And we'll also do number 2 with you. Estudiante. You can just imagine in an average classroom, maybe there's 30. So we'll have hay 30 estudiantes. There are 30 students. So you will do numbers 3 through 10. Skip the section at the very bottom of the page, section 17, where it says, ¿Qué tienes en la mochila? What do you have in the backpack? Skip that. Put a little, you're skipping section 17. Moving on to the next page, workbook 31. Section 1. It says match each class with its appropriate subject matter. So number 1 says matemáticas. And then we have A through F picking which one would match best for math class. And that's going to be letter F. And that's all you need to write. Algebra, geometría, trigonometría. Letter F. Algebra, geometry, trigonometry. The next section is section 2. And it says find and circle 7 colors. So they can be read horizontally, vertically, or diagonally. I'm looking at this list of words. Look at the bottom row, the second letter, and that starts with blanco. And of course, it's not in any particular order because we're just finding these and circling them, but now we're writing them into the document. So hopefully you see where blanco is at the bottom. Workbook 32. There's only one section on this page. You have a student schedule. Read the statements and decide whether they are true or false based on Elena's class schedule. If the statement is true, write C, provided in the space, or false for no. So all we're doing is numbering 1 through 10 and writing C or no. So let's look at number 1. It says, Elena tiene 6 clases en un día. Elena has 6 classes in one day. Well, we can just look at any day, Monday through Friday, and count how many there are, and she does. She has 6 classes. Almuerzo is lunch, and that does not count as a class as much as we would want it to be. It's not. So C for number 1. And then we would do the rest of them, numbers 2 through 10. Moving on to the next page, workbook page 33, section 4. It says, read the following statements. Based on what you have learned about schools in Spain, decide whether they refer to a typical high school in the United States or in Spain. Write US or Spain in the space provided. So you're just going to number 1 through 6 and write either US or Spain. For example, number 1, students actively participate in class. Well, even if we're afraid to, maybe we're shy or just don't want to, we are allowed to. So that's US. In Spain, you are expected to be quiet and listen to lectures all day long. And then you will finish 2 through 6. The next section is section 5, nouns and adjectives, sustantivos y adjetivos. It says, for each sentence, underline the noun and circle the adjective. Then check the appropriate columns to indicate whether it is masculine or feminine, singular or plural. So, let's look at number 1. Number 1 says, Sergio es un estudiante nuevo. Sergio es un estudiante nuevo. So we can do this a little bit differently. We can write noun. The noun is estudiante. And then the adjective is nuevo. And we can just write down whether it's masculine, feminine, singular, or plural because we don't have the check boxes. So for number 1, it is masculine and singular. And that's how we're just going to set it up because we can't circle and check because we have these in PDF files. If you did write it down on paper, you underlined estudiante, that's the noun, circled nuevo, that's the adjective, and then you put a check under masculine and singular. So that's how you're going to do numbers 2 through 6, like this example I gave you. All right, that is it. Stop this video, try to finish all of these answers, and look at the next video that I will be submitting that gives the answers.